When we talk about AI safety, what are we worried about? I'd say the ultimate catastrophe scenario looks as follows. An intelligence achieves what I describe as total global dominance. There is no other force on Earth that can effectively compete with it. The intelligence in question prioritizes its own goals above everyone and everything else. The result is a catastrophe for everything else. A lot of people are skeptical about this scenario or think that there's some easy answer or wiggle room to get out of this, something that I find terribly odd for one simple reason: it has already happened. To argue against this possibility is to argue against historical fact. I think you're probably starting to realize the twist here. It's us, humans, Homo sapiens. We have achieved total global dominance. Our intelligence enabled us to be so devastatingly effective in dominating the planet that the idea of there being such a thing as a rebellion of lions sounds like a joke. It's the stuff of entertaining fiction. Aside from possibly some kind of a super plague, there is nothing on Earth that poses any threat to us except for ourselves, or a greater intelligence than us when we invent it. We arose naturally instead of artificially, of course, but that doesn't change the fact that we are an effective demonstration of just how overwhelmingly overpowering a difference in intelligence is. Now, do you think this could not happen again? That we're so special, so unique, so amazing that nothing could do to us what we do to others? That we are the peak of possible intelligences, as smart as anything can possibly be? If you take a look at how humans treat everything on the planet, well, I'll spare you the graphic footage, although it's readily available online if you want to see and be informed. Just Google footage of pollution, factory farming, habitat destruction, and so on and so forth. The example of us should be especially worrying because we are already hardwired for sympathy and compassion. We have the cognitive circuits in our brains that enable us to recognize and care about the suffering of others, and yet we so readily dismiss it and ignore it when it's even slightly inconvenient for us. This should be instructive. It doesn't take some Skynet-style, malevolent, sadistic AI for everything to become a disaster. Even a slight misalignment of goals can be horrible for everything else. The world would look completely differently if humans had just a slightly wider circle of compassion than we typically do, but we do not, so we wreak untold havoc on everything else. How much easier would that be for a mind that has no sympathy at all? No cognitive circuits that enable this sort of compassion. A superior intelligence would, of course, have plenty of empathy. It would understand you very well. It could easily imagine exactly how you work, what drives and motivations you have. But understanding is not caring, as demonstrated, once again, by us. It's not that we don't understand how destructive we are to the well-being of non-humans. It's just that we don't care. To put it simply, ask chickens what life is like with a superior intelligence around, and then consider whether you want to be a chicken to an AI's human. If you think that this problem is easily solvable, ask chickens if they think that this problem is easily solvable. If that perspective is terrifying to you, then you need to take AI safety seriously.